Alrighty, the fifth way to monetize your beekeeping business is to sell bees. Typically, you can sell them in two ways, or three. Three of the most common. Two typically for hobbyists and sideliners is to sell a package or a nuke of bees. You can also sell them by the brood box. If you're buying a brood box, typically those colonies are going to come from California. They're going to be the ones that are coming off from the almond pollinations contracts. And a lot of times beekeepers will sell those rather than transport them back to wherever they came from. So you can get decent sized colonies at a fair price that way if you're local to the California area or you have contacts over there. Here in Michigan, typically when you order bees from somebody, they are going to end up coming from Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, but mostly the Georgia, a little bit of the Florida area. But with a package of bees, it typically comes with a queen and a mated queen in a cage with two corkboard plugs on each end of the queen cage, and in one of those ends is also going to be filled with a candy type material or a food substance for the bees. And when you get your package, it's going to have a flimsy plyboard cover on the very top of it. You want to pry that off, shake the bees down into the bottom of the box, pull the can out, pull your queen out, put the can back in so your bees don't escape. Pull that plug out only on the candy end only. Because with these guys, this queen is typically fairly new to that colony. It's not one that they're going to be familiar with, so you don't really want to release her too soon. Because of the way that they create packages of bees, the way that they do it is they essentially just shake down and weigh about 3 pounds of bees, and they already have mated queens in cages and boxes, and they staple it to the cage, they seal them up with some food, and they ship them out. So they're getting to know each other right from that first day. With a nucleus colony or a nuke box of bees, the queen is already out. It's one that they grew up with, and she's already been accepted into the colony. So you only want to release that candy end first, because that'll allow the bees to get into her slowly and allow her pheromones to really get out there. One thing that I have found, no matter what kind of package or way that you buy your bees, if you buy a package or a nuke, is to reduce the absconding issue. The thing that I found that works the best is to already have the entrance blocked off when you get your bees. And for packages, once you get your queen out and that plug out, put the queen where you want her, and then you can take that can out again and either shake the bees down into the hive with the queen and put the box in front so the rest of the bees can kind of crawl up around the hive. Or you can get a second brood box and just open your package, set it in your hive on top of the frames of your first brood box, and just let the bees come out naturally on their own. It's a little bit less abrasive that way, a little less aggressive. And put your lid on, keep them sealed up in the hive. With a nucleus colony, you simply have to take the frames out of the box and put them in your hive box. And a nucleus colony comes with the mated queen, and a good handful of drones already, usually. 5 frames of brood, pollen, nectar, food resources, everything, and they're all pretty much good to go. It's a little bit of a head start for you. And they're a little more expensive depending on where you're at and the accessibility of getting bees to your area. That does change the price a bit. If you really want to get good hardy bees, I would recommend buying from somebody that says that they raise their own here in Michigan. And it's a slightly longer process because our winters are longer. The people who order from Georgia or order through people who order from Georgia, they tend to get theirs a little bit faster, but that's because Georgia has a much longer growing season and their spring is quite a bit sooner than Michigan most of the time. So they're usually a few weeks ahead. If you order from somebody from Michigan, it's definitely worth it to wait the extra couple weeks and get those good hardy genetics that have already been tested and proven to be able to make it through our winters, and kind of our weather patterns. So that's one big thing to think about with that. If you're selling bees, probably the first way that you're going to end up going about it is to get a list of clientele, other people who want to order bees, and then you yourself will order through somebody who probably will come from Georgia. Um, Once you get into it a little bit and you can raise your own stock, you start to understand the brood cycle, and you get better at being able to time out your queen breeding situation. Then producing your own Michigan bred queens and Michigan colonies will be a lot easier. But that usually takes 2, 3, 4 years to really get in the pattern of and to really learn, especially with the way that our weather's been changing. So, but that's wave 5 is to sell bees.